What's good? Brian Tong here, and many of you asked for it, so let's talk about the latest we know about the iPhone Fold, and arguably Apple's most intriguing product for 2026 because it will determine if they are a compelling player in the foldable space or not based on the design, its price, and features for their rumored iPhone Fold. So let's talk about this. This just in. The first iPhone Fold dummies have been 3D printed based off of leaked CAD files reportedly from Apple's own production line. This is not obviously an exact replica, but a user named Subsea on MakerWorld 3D printed out this physical plastic model of the rumored iPhone Fold. And it gives you an idea for a reference size if these CAD files are real. Now, the design takes a page from both the iPhone 17 Pro lineup and the iPhone Air with that camera bar incorporating two cameras in it instead of one. Could that be a preview of the next iPhone Air as well? We'll see. But you'll also have that two-tone back similar to the iPhone 17 Pro that featured an aluminum unibody and then a separate ceramic shield area. We do not know and do not believe this will be a unibody design. You'll also have that black area that represents the outer screen. And then if you're wondering, this hinge is not based on an Apple design, but it's one that the designer made for the purpose of this 3D model. When he opens it up, you can see that the dual screen design is alive and well. But what stands out to me the most from this, if true, Apple's taking a cue from the first Google Pixel Fold that I loved because it felt like a passport book in hand. And this leaked CAD design is really leaning into that passport-like dimensions, in-hand feel and hold from these photos. And I love that design form factor. I had once thrown out the idea that, hey, maybe they could call it the Apple Passport, but this is a really good first look and the first kind of physical representation of what the iPhone Fold or the iPhone Passport might actually look like for the very first time. So let's get back to the video about what they can do to potentially stand out from the crowd. You might already know how I feel about the Samsung Z Fold 7. Yes, it is my favorite mobile device of the year. It's the last time that I can remember getting really excited about a mobile device's hardware since, I'd say probably the iPhone 10. Its design, its functionality, its utility is awesome, and it checks off all the boxes for me, except maybe for its starting $1,999 starting price point. And it's actually now down to $1,599, but if it's worth it to you, it's worth it to you. But as far as US foldable models are concerned, the Z Fold 7 is not only the best, but it's a compelling product that I would have no problem recommending to anyone who wants one. And then Samsung had to go and release their Trifold, which folds out to a 10-inch tablet and is available in Korea right now and coming to the US in the coming weeks. So what's Apple going to do arriving 8 years after Samsung's first foldable phone? That's light years in the tech world because Apple didn't believe in the form factor, but now they do. Let me just put it into perspective, okay? The very first AirPods were released in December of 2016. So that would be like Samsung or Google making wireless earbuds for the very first time and releasing them in 2024. Like, that's how late to the party this is. Now, the first thing that we've heard really a whole lot about the iPhone Fold is that Apple has reportedly solved the crease problem that pretty much every other foldable has because it folds. According to reports, Apple has worked tirelessly on their hinge and display to minimize the creasing, and Chinese site UDN claims it will be the first foldable to be a crease-free foldable. It will reportedly use a special metal plate that distributes the stress on the display and an improved display lamination that will enable it to be crease-free. Now, I said it in my Z Fold 7 review, but I think there's also an opportunity to make an even better hinge that is strong, but still has a floaty and more smooth feel when you open and close it. Now, I haven't experienced that yet on a foldable. The Pixel does a pretty good job, and this could be another place where Apple's hinge is and could be better than the competition. I will say, though, the complaints that I've heard from the crease in foldables are people that I think have never used one on a regular basis. When you use the device constantly and the display is on, you really don't see the crease. It's been a non-factor to me from day one. I know the crease is there, and I don't see it when the display is on and I'm using the device. So I do welcome less of a crease, and it could surprise and bring an elegance to the design, but I've always felt the complaints about it have been way overblown by people who are generally already skeptical about foldables, and if that's a perception pain point to solve, then Apple might have that going for them. The next thing Apple is planning to do is feature an industry-first 24 megapixel under display camera that is built into the inner display of the foldable iPhone. That would be a huge jump over existing Android foldables, which up to this point have typically had lower resolution under display cameras of 4 or 8 megapixels. This would be an actual breakthrough in achieving light transmittance and image clarity through a display that no other manufacturers have been able to do yet. And that's also a feature we'd expect to see in the future for other iPhones as well, so it would benefit the entire product lineup eventually. The third reported breakthrough feature would be for this foldable to use high-density battery cells, and Ming-Chi Kuo reports Apple is testing capacities in the 5400 to 5800 milliampere hour range. This could be the largest battery ever put in an iPhone, and that would surpass the iPhone 17 Pro Max, which is a battery of 5088. Samsung's Z Fold 7 has a 4400 milliampere hour battery, and the Pixel 10 Pro Fold has a 4800 one. There have been debates about the actual display size of the new iPhone foldable, but the most recent report from The Information claims it will have a 7.7-inch inner display and a 5.3-inch outer display. The specs have not been finalized yet, and we've heard early reports of maybe a 7.8-inch inner and 5.5-inch outer, but it will be somewhere around those measurements. It will not have Face ID, so no 3D Face ID hardware, but instead a Touch ID button on the side. And it will reportedly have 4 cameras in total. One punch hole camera on the front side, one under display camera on that inside display that we mentioned earlier, and a dual lens 48 megapixel rear camera system on the back. I'm curious what software features they'll have, because I really do like how clever both Google and Samsung have been to bring some unique capabilities with the foldable form factor, and they are different from each other. So what does Apple have to bring to the table? We'll see. Now, the rumored pricing for this iPhone Fold has been reportedly priced between $2,000 and $2,500, and if it's on that high side, no matter how good it is, that's going to be a tough call for consumers, especially in this tighter economy. You've got to imagine Samsung will try to bring theirs down in price from their original $1,999 price point, and that's now $1,599. And the Pixel 10 Pro started at $1,799, but is at $1,499 depending on when you see this video. So I'd encourage Apple to remember what happened with the Apple Vision Pro. Incredible technology, groundbreaking, but that price was not going to be attainable for the general Apple consumer, and they didn't buy it. So don't make that same mistake twice. Now, this iPhone Fold will open up to about the size of an iPad mini, Apple's smallest iPad. So let's take a moment to thank the sponsor of this video, who makes one of my favorite accessories for the iPad, Paper-like. This is the latest iteration of their screen protector that's designed for creators and makes writing or drawing on your iPad have a premium paper feel. It gives you the ideal friction with a constant tactile resistance that feels as natural as a pen on paper. That's thanks to its nano-dot surface technology that is a microtexture technology applied to the entire Paper-like 3 protector. It's one of the few accessories that I literally use every day, and you'll still get excellent screen clarity. Another plus, it also minimizes light reflection, so you get a clearer view of the content you're watching. It has what they call the butterfly application system, but this is a very straightforward and easy process, helping you apply your screen protector without dust and bubbles from the very first try, and you'll get 2 of them in the package. You can even scan a QR code to watch an in-depth tutorial on the iPad screen with step-by-step directions while you are applying it, so you'll know exactly what to do for a no-stress and dust-free application. It's a 4-layer sheet. I cleaned off the surface, I aligned the protector perfectly, and then following the step-by-step guide, I peeled off the different layers and used the helper tool to push out all the air bubbles as well. Now, I've used Paper-like on my previous iPads, and Paper-like 3 feels even thinner at less than 0.095 millimeters thin. That still meets Apple's guideline, and it's actually beneath their threshold and ensures the Apple Pencil will work precisely with it. And it's a protector, so it also helps to prevent against scuffs, scratches, and everyday wear. I have used Paper-like personally for years, so check out the link in the description to get a Paper-like 3 for your iPad that makes writing and drawing feel like paper. All right, let's get back to talking Apple's foldable that is expected to be announced and released next year in 2026 when Apple enters a new product market. You know, it tends to increase the sales of that category overall. And according to Counterpoint Research, the foldable smartphone panel market is projected to bump up 48% year over year in 2026, in part because of Apple jumping into the foldable market and being the catalyst for that bump. Now, it will obviously open up the form factor to a broader market because it's Apple, as long as it's priced within reason. In addition to that report, another estimate by IDC, a major global market intelligence firm, believes the iPhone Fold will capture over a 22% unit share and 34% of the overall foldables market in just its first year. And that's even with a projected price to them of $2,400. The foldable market in the US is dominated right now by Samsung and then Google. So there's absolutely, I would say, a place for Apple to slide in there to grab some market share here. Now, an optimistic report from ET News says Apple has ordered 22 million OLED panels from Samsung Display for this foldable phone, and reportedly, that's a sign that Apple has a larger production target than the industry had anticipated. Now, the report has since been deleted, so it could be factually incorrect, like many rumors we hear before a product releases, but it did claim that it would be an order for 11 million inward-facing OLED displays and 11 million outward external displays by Apple. So that's 30% higher than industry analysts expected, according to the report, which first pegged Apple's foldable shipments somewhere between 6 and 8 million units. The global market for foldables shipped has hovered around 20 million, so with that number around 11 million, Apple would be pretty aggressive to assume that they could make up 1/3 of the shipments for 2026 in the first year for their foldable. Pretty bold. But just a few days ago then, analyst Ming-Chi Kuo then chimed in with, a little, hey guys, pump yo brakes. He reports that the foldable iPhone could face supply shortages that go into 2027, even with a planned launch for next year. He said the foldable iPhone is behind its earlier expectations, but Apple will still announce it in the second half of 2026. Due to ramp up and early yield from the factories, Kuo said smooth shipments may not happen until 2027 with limited supply and strong demand. So we've heard reports like this before with Pro models of the iPhone in the past, but this is an entirely new product design with a lot more moving parts. Now, Foxconn was reportedly expected to begin limited production for the foldable before the end of the year, but that hasn't happened according to insiders, which is in part of the reason we're hearing about the potential delays. Now, the iPhone Fold is reportedly still in the design validation stage and has not moved to production at all yet, which means they could change a few things. But if you look at all the rumors and all the products Apple is expecting to release next year, this is probably their most exciting piece of hardware, and they have to, at the very least, officially unveil it. Otherwise, what other products are you really all excited for from Apple in 2026? I mean, it's arguably their smart home hub or this foldable, right? I mean, while everything else, yeah, nice incremental upgrades, of course, but unless we get a big surprise, it's going to be this. So they have to announce the iPhone Fold, even if only one single unit is ready by the end of the year. They just got to. All right, everybody, that's going to do it for this video. If you like what you see, give me that thumbs up, subs up, and hit that notification bell, ding, to get all my latest videos when they drop. And if you want more of that Apple goodness, you can check out my weekly AppleBits XL audio podcast with the latest stories and special guests. Plus, you can support all my content with an ad-free version of the podcast, early access to my content, and exclusive content at patreon.com/Brian Tong. So thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you all in the next video. Peace and love.